Hey everyone, I'm Chef Dennis, and today I'm coming to you from the Food and Booze Show with my co-host Susan Sarah because YouTube slapped me on the hands. I was a very bad boy. Well, actually, I wasn't. Someone hacked my account Saturday night while I was asleep and uploaded some really pretty bad videos. I didn't even look at them. I saw the thumbnails and went, oh no, and the titles. And I deleted them very quickly, but according to YouTube's community guidelines, I have been sentenced to 6 months in the salt mines without any appeal, without any representation, without anything. Just I'm in Stalag YouTube.
Oh no, that is so. That is so. I'm so sorry to hear that, and so many other people are telling you they're so sorry to hear that, and especially when there's no recourse. And there should be recourse for people like yourself who do good work and who use the medium, you know, different mediums and all connected to Google, and it's really, you know, it's really not what it should be. However, that said, I will never tell you what's in here. It could be booze or it could be anything, and it actually matches my shirt, which I just realized, but I could say I planned it. So there you go. There you go. So I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, you know, good thing, bad thing. You know, it's forced me, like we were talking earlier, I have now started a new account, and it's pushing me into something that I probably should have been doing. And I opened up an account called Chef Dennis Litley Productions. So, you know, just like Aslan Bloor has hers and Larry Fournier has his. So I thought, well, you know, maybe this is my nudge, because sometimes I need a pretty good nudge to get off my not as fat butt as it used to be and do something.
Yeah, but no, I can see that, and I think it is time to, you know, to explore other areas and to move in another direction, and a positive direction. So I think it's terrific, because who knows when you would have thought that. You know, it's just that this isn't the way you wanted to think along those lines.
Right. You know, it's making lemonade out of lemons, but I wasn't expecting the shipment of lemons. That's all. So after the initial shock, and I think the only thing that really bothers me, and I could accept the suspension. I mean, it was really awful things that they put up there. I could accept the suspension based on an investigation, but there's no investigation. It's just, you got 6 months in solitary, and when you come out, we hope you've learned your lesson. It's like, what?
Well, a part of the lesson I heard you say, which I adopt, is the two-step authentication.
Yes. And you know, I had it on, and I took it off because it was a pain in the butt to get the text, and I just didn't think it was worth it, and you know, shame on me.
Yep.
We're not doing that, and so you know, I'm back to that. I've developed some really intriguing passwords that, you know, I had to write down because there's no way in heck I would remember them. You know, so. Oh,
let me stop you right there, because for a long time I've been using Dashlane. Dashlane.com. It has it gives you a unique password for every site you visit. It is so seamless, and it syncs across the phone, your iPad, the desktop. They all sync when something's updated. You've got to look into Dashlane. It's
Can you put
easy.
That in a link in the comment stream later, so I'll remember that?
I will. I use it and I love it. Great. So we're talking about grilling today, which is great.
We're going outside. I have my Florida palm tree shirt on, because it's actually, I don't know how hot it is, but let me tell you, in the sun, Florida's sun is a little different than Northeast sun, and it can get a little bit crazy out there. So I'm looking to let my phone update now. 67, that's in Oakland. That's not here. It's only 84. Okay.
Yeah, but with 200% humidity, right?
Actually, I don't feel the humidity out there, but it's the noonday sun, so it's coming down. And this is the time of day you don't go outside unless you really have to. You know, from now until about 4 or 5 o'clock, you try and stay inside, or in shade, because when you're in shade, it's like 30 degrees cooler. Even if there's no breeze, it's like a break. But we'll be out. I'm in the sun just because the camera needed it. I have my charcoal charbroil kettleman heating up, and it looks like it's not super hot, but it's hot enough. I'm reading 300 degrees there, so that's pretty cool. So that'll be hot enough for what I want to do. And since my diet, and we've talked about it, I've decided that things that I never ate before or really didn't care for, because flavors have become so much better for me now. Things that I eat now seem like they're just filled with flavor. I decided that I would try some different things. Like I actually had a 3-beef burger the other day. My stomach was a little about it, but it wasn't terrible. But it was the first time I've really had beef in quite a while, and it was tasty. And today I'm doing some lamb chops. Lamb has never been a big favorite of mine, but I thought, the grill, and especially with charcoal, is such a nice way to cook. I
have to tell you, I've always been afraid of lamb. I think I made it once. And I think it was like really that gamey kind of. I probably cooked it really bad. I haven't cooked it since. It
is, and I think in the old days, lamb was bigger. The chops that we got were gamier. They've since time, Australia and New Zealand actually came out with, like, I think the game changer in lamb, and it's been a couple decades, but they're smaller sized, they're less gamey, they still have that lamb flavor, but it's not overpowering, and I think that made the American lamb producers really up their game a little bit.
So you mean I've been nursing this negative perception, although I'll eat at a restaurant, I've been nursing this negative perception of home cooking lamb for 20 years. Well, that's what I've been doing.
Same as me. And I was out, one of the places I ate at, and they served me things that I don't eat, one was lamb. And I had to taste it, and I went, well, this is pretty good, So I thought, let me try it. Let me just give it a little. Let me put a very simple seasoning on it. Let me try it on the grill and see how it comes out, and we'll make we'll go from there. This is organic lamb, so I do have a good product. And what I did was I found the little chops, and they were already cut for me because I really didn't want to buy 2 racks at this point and go through it. Although in the restaurant, a lot of times I did racks of lamb, and I would stuff them with spinach and maybe some cheese and breadcrumbs and some other spices and make a nice accompaniment for the rack, and it would look pretty. But I'm not going to all that trouble. I want to use the grill. I want to get some flavor. And then I found these. While I was buying them, I was going to go, I need to get 2 packs, and I found these beautiful little... And they almost look like a porterhouse.
I was just going to say they look like a porterhouse. They do. They're adorable.
It's got that little tenderloin on it, which is going to be super tender and super flavorful. Now, from what I can gather, I'm not a big lamb cooker. I never have been a big lamb cooker. But from what I can gather, this is something you want to eat a little on the rare side too. Okay, which isn't going to go over well with Lisa to begin with because she doesn't eat any meat that's rare. But really for the flavor, you want it to be not well done. You want it to be a little bit underdone and still have some pink in it. And that's a good thing with this. So we're going to grill these, and we're really not going to grill them very long. I'm going to give them a few minutes, 3 to 5 minutes on each side in that range, and pretty much just to mark them and see where they come at. Now, I'm going to let them sit and rest after that, and I'll probably taste one, but I'm going to save them for dinner, and we'll have them for dinner later tonight. So this is something that you actually could do ahead of time.
But now I see a lot of them there. Why so many, and what will you do with the extras?
Well, it's not a pound. I don't think there was...
Oh, really? Oh, maybe they look bigger than they really are.
Well, actually, no. There is a pound. It's a pound and a half because the chops with all the bone that look so pretty were $18 a pound. So I bought about $10 worth, so which is a little more than half a pound. But the big, beautiful ones that look like little steaks were only $10 a pound because they don't have the pretty little bone on them. So we'll see how they eat, how they compare, because that would seem to be a much better buy.
Yes.
And this is a big portion of protein if we eat it all. But this is how they came. There were five or six of the big chops in there, and then five. I think 5 and 5 is how they pack.
So you're not saying that's a pound and a half?
I think total it's about a pound and a half.
It look like a lot more. So that's good. They must be a lot smaller than it looks like.
These are very small. These are really,
that's true.
These are about half the size of the bigger chops in terms of meat. These are like bites. These are something. These chops would be great for hors d'oeuvres. Okay, if you wanted to grill them up. In fact, I used to serve them at the school that way because the president of the school loved lamb. So I wouldn't go out. I wouldn't necessarily fire up the grill to do them just for that, but I would get a flat top, super hot, and you can do it in a saute pan too. Just get them really hot and sear them really well on both sides to get some color onto them, to get some markings, so they're not just gray. You want to get that little crisp, brown or a little more color onto them by searing them, and that's why I sear them. Now, I don't have any rosemary in here, and normally rosemary is a very good flavor that goes with lamb. But what I do have in here is this is just sitting in olive oil, some water, and balsamic vinegar, a little bit of acid in it, and you could have used lemon instead of the vinegar, just to get a little tender. And this is not something you necessarily want to leave it in a long time if there's an acid involved, because it'll kind of make the meat mushy. So this has only been sitting for about, not quite an hour. And I use my Montreal seasoning because I love it.
Yeah.
Basically it's a really heavy black pepper spice with other things in it and a good amount of salt. So I have put nothing else in here but that. But you could just throw some garlic, some rosemary, some cracked black pepper, and sea salt in there and call it a day, and it would be good too. Or you could just put a little olive oil on them. You don't even have to let them sit in this, and just sprinkle them with your spices and grill them, and they'd be lovely. So at this point, we're going to go outside. So I have my other camera out there, and it's muted right now. So when I get out there, I'll unmute it, and then we'll turn the show over to you while I'm cooking these beauties.
Okay.
All right. So I will see you out there in a couple of minutes.
So we're going to turn it over to me now?
Well, you can go ahead and talk while I'm on my way outside.
Sounds good. Okay. So we are talking about what else? Outdoor kitchens today. Outdoor kitchens. Chef is grilling outside. I've talked about this before, and it bears repeating. I mean, now's the season for the whole country to be outside, and really, everyone loves to have this outdoor living. When you're planning an outdoor kitchen, you want to consider a few things. You want to consider the size of an outdoor kitchen. You want to consider, how much you'll be entertaining. Will you be entertaining just your family, just a couple of people? Do you want it to expand to many more people? How often will you entertain? That will determine the appliances, the amount of space that you allocate to the outdoor kitchen. And other things to be aware of is, for example, location, the lay of the land. How close or how far away from the house do you want an outdoor kitchen to be? Do you want it to be part of sort of a gazebo that's near the kitchen, or that's actually quite separate from the kitchen, a path from the kitchen? Do you want easy access to your indoor kitchen from your outdoor kitchen, which many people do? We have to, of course, think about ventilation. Ventilation, you don't want the grill too close to the house, so we have to, be aware of that as well. Chef, are you there? Okay, I thought I heard the Chef. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, look at that grill! Look at that grill. Okay, I can put myself on hold, and you take it away.
I actually, just while you were talking, I just put the meat on the grill, so it's there, and I've got everything cooking. And like I said, it's just going to give it a little time on each side. And just to give you an idea too, I don't know if you can see it. I'll show you where I'm at.
The grill cam. Love the grill cam.
Yeah. Let me get this. There we go. There's my palm tree.
Ah, beautiful.
So this is where I live. It's a modular community. They're prevalent in Florida. They're everywhere, but it's a real good place to live. It's quiet and peaceful, and Sun's shining. You can tell it's a beautiful day here. And I got my my grill cooking. So all I'm doing now is, like I said, I am pretty much just going to give these some heat to mark them. And if you like rare meat, they're going to be done really, really quick. And depending upon how hot it is, we're just going to give them just a little bit more time before I turn them. And let the close that and close this, and that'll help keep the heat in. I had it open when I first started just so the fire would build, but now it's, you know, you can close it if you're roasting a little bit more. So you were talking about outdoor kitchens and places to put them. You know.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I said I would love one out here, but the problem is with gas, like we really, you know, can't have gas lines run too many times with it. You have to use propane, so it's almost like overkill for here, you know. But in a house where you're going to be for a while, and you know, you can run some gas lines to it. I think an outdoor kitchen is great, especially when you can put electric and have a little refrigerator out there, and
That's right, the refrigerator. There's even dishwashers. How about the beer keg? And you know, in the wine refrigerator, the appliances are just amazing now. And as I was saying before, the size is important. You can't have an outdoor kitchen because your outdoors would be a magnet to anyone who gets those fragrances of what you're cooking.
I know.
So you can have that. You'll make friends quick.
I love it. Yeah, I know. People stop Lisa and say, "What was he cooking? I could smell it," you know. So.
Yeah, but also, you know, the exposure of the outdoor kitchen, you know, depends on where you are in the country. Whether you want the kitchen to be exposed to north, south, east, or west sunlight and shade, and you know, lots of factors like that are very important, and the terrain of the land, of course. So what's happening now?
Well, I just turned them over. We did get a little bit of mark on a couple of them.
Love that.
Like I said, I just want to get some color. You know, I'm not looking to put serious grill marks on them, but I wanted to get some color on some of them. So they're looking, and I saw they're beautiful. But I like the thicker ones because they look like they're just little miniature steaks. I'm telling you, and I bet they're going to eat really, really well. So they were about 3 to 5 minutes on each side. Like I said, just to give them some color, and then we'll go back to them. So.
That's great. And you know, I could see some kind of mint yogurt sauce with them, maybe.
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah, you could serve a yogurt sauce with them. You know, anything cooling is going to go real well, especially if you season them a little heavier too. So.
Mm-hmm. And talking more about the outdoor kitchens, you know, what are your priorities, and how large or small of a grill do you need, and the other appliances? And in terms of the style, what's the style? Think about the style of your home, the exterior. Do you want to embellish an outdoor kitchen with stone veneer, with stone or concrete, or you know, how much counter space do you need for an outdoor kitchen? And of course, which leads to how long will you be in the home? So there's so many things to think about, and you know, even which way the prevailing wind blows, and shelter from the sun, shelter from storms. It's really very important to fully think about the exposure.
Yeah, and the amount of time you get to spend outside. You know, some people that are in like the Midwest or, you know, up where they get snow 9 months out of the year may not get the usage out of it unless it is covered or kind of protected.
That's true, exactly. And there's so many different ways to protect an outdoor kitchen. You can have those wonderful trellis, you know, trellises on top. You can really have sort of an outdoor room effect. Which we've done this before on the show, and I have a slideshow, and it's probably a little late in the game, but I think what I'll do is provide a link to my House idea book on outdoor kitchens, and then you can see some really great examples.
Okay, these I'm taking them off. Some of them they're basically done. I wanted to leave them a little bit rare. And these thicker ones are more than likely going to need a little bit more time. but I can always flash them in the oven to finish them if they need more time. Or if you want to hold them, say if you were having a party and you wanted to hold them in a warm oven, you know, that'll help too. But, you know, don't be afraid to try your lamb a little rare. It's not going to hurt you. I mean, modern technology has changed a lot with how we eat meat and the safety of it. Even pork can be a little rare from now on. One thing I like about this grill is it's got a lock. So if I walk away from it and I want to make sure it doesn't accidentally get blown over, I can lock it, and then I'm safe for a while.
It looks great, and I have to compliment you on how clean the grates look. The grates look so clean. That doesn't look like my grill.
It's still fairly new, so give me time. All right, I'm going to head on back in. I'm going to mute this and head on back in. I will see you back inside.
Okay, sounds good. So, you know, there's a lot of technology, too, now in outdoor kitchen appliances. And they come in so many sizes, so you don't have, just because you want an outdoor kitchen doesn't mean you have to have or you need big appliances. You can go very small. I mean, if you want, say, you know, you're in an apartment and you want to grill outdoors, you know, there are little mini outdoor beverage appliances and little mini, you know, grills, and there's a very broad assortment of small appliances for outdoor kitchens. Something for everyone.
Well, that's because more people are getting involved in cooking outdoors. It's more of a pastime than just, you know, again, it's enhancing the experience of sharing food with people, your friends, with your loved ones, and having that camaraderie, and taking it outside just kind of steps up the game sometimes. You know,
but you know what else it is? It's also the whole staycation movement where people are thinking of the outdoors as rooms, and they're buying the sectional outdoor sofas in the sunbrella fabrics, and they're getting the beautiful big umbrellas, and they're really thinking of them as viable rooms more than ever before.
Oh, absolutely. You know, you can see that while we spend some time outside, we don't spend probably as much as we would because we have the sunroom, the lanai they call it here.
Yes. Yeah, those are great.
You're on your lanai, and I went, no, I'm on the porch. Well, what are you talking about? But you know, and like you said, we will spend as much as we would on interior furniture for the lanai, for the porch, because it's an extension. It's a room. It's not just a porch.
It is very exciting. Very, you know, it's the food, the grilling. It's, you know, ambiance, different dimension.
And the one thing you want to remember about grilling too is a lot of times the food that you grill does not have to be served piping hot. Like these little chops, they could sit for a while as long as they're warm and they're not cold. You know, you could put them out on a buffet, you could pass them around, you could move on to something else. You know, it's not as critical that you keep things, you know, killer hot like you would if you were taking something in a restaurant off a stove. It's okay to let it. And actually, they should sit for a little while, any meat that you cook, so the blood goes all back in and they're nice and juicy.
Oh, good point. Always a good point.
Okay, so that's phase one. Now, phase two is coming up with a different side dish, something that you want to make that would be a little different from the norm, but flavorful and complementary for this. So for that, I've decided to take some, and you know, you see this all the time. It's not like I'm inventing the wheel here, but watermelon, some watermelon chunks.
Oh, those look really red.
Yeah, they were. Great. I mean, we don't always get them so red.
I know.
These were little mini watermelons, and which was good because, you know, I get the big watermelon, I eat it for 2 days, and then it sits in there and I throw it out. So, you know, this was good. I sent some to school with Lisa for a party, and I had the rest for us. So, and then I've got some feta, and I'm going to put some feta in. And again, it can be as much feta. It could be crumbles if you like crumbles. These are kind of squares, so I cut them up into squares, and then I'm going to put them back in the container. And I've got some mint because you know, I like mint, and this mint will go well in here. Now, something else that I made is pickled onions. Now, here is the difference in making this just a very nice salad. and you could hit it with a squeeze of lime. I did not bring the lime in. But you just want to take these and mix in. And these onions should really sit overnight if you can. These have been going for an hour, which is enough. But if you wanted to really make it special, you want to let it sit for a while. Let me get a spoon to toss this.
I love the colors, too. You know, such a summery, fresh, just, it feels so fresh. Now tell me, what's in the onions? What's in the bowl in the onions?
The onions is very simple to make. The onions is water, vinegar, sugar, and what else was that? Water, vinegar, sugar, and salt. That's it. That was simply all there was to it. So here we've got a nice salad. You know, you can, don't be afraid to pick an onion up and throw it and arrange it, or put the cheese where you wanted to make it look pretty. But yeah, so they're pickled, and they're great. If you pickle them, they'll hold up in your refrigerator for about a week. They'll stay. So do a couple onions, and when you have burgers, throw some pickled onion. Oh my God, or a chicken sandwich, or anything. So here we have.
Oh, that looks so good.
So you have this.
Good.
And we have our lamb.
Nice.
And there's a very light dinner. Now, if
very
you want to
flavorful, especially with that Montreal spice you're talking about. It just looks like a burst of flavors on both parts.
Very, very flavorful. And again, it's a light dinner. This saves you room. Well, although the watermelon's a fruit, this saves you room to indulge a little with a little dessert if you want to. Or if you don't want to, serve this with another salad, or make a grain salad would be a really nice accompaniment with this. Maybe some couscous or some farro, or anything just a little bit different.
I think I'll indulge in dessert.
Yeah. Well, that's a good. I still have a key lime pie in my freezer that
my favorite.
We'll crack that out tonight. Someone had given me that, and have that with this, and I'll have to think of, maybe I'll make a chicken breast for Lisa just in case she thinks the lamb is bad, but if she's a little sheepish about eating it.
Oh no, good, you're fast.
I know.
Quick on the draw.
I've been using them for many years. So. But that's taking your dinner in another way, another avenue. Again, break out. Don't be afraid to try something different every now and then, because you'll be surprised that And if you don't love it, if you go, well, that was good, but it's not on my top 10 list. Well, you don't have to make it again, but at least you've tried it, and maybe one of your friends will really love it, and you can make it for them sometime when they're here. But it's all about experimenting and learning and trying different flavors and different. We had Allie on last week, and I still haven't got those spices, but her spice combinations were incredible.
I know, they were so yeah. There's a lot of thought that went into those spice combinations. Yeah. Definitely. For Mother's Day on Sunday, we grilled, and I'm kind of wondering which. Sometimes I just ask off-the-wall questions, but could you or would you do a salad like that? My thinking is no, because watermelon could get mushy. Can you mix it all together, like cut pieces of the lamb and just have like one big salad? Or maybe not with that type, right?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't put protein other than this cheese in there. I wouldn't put a meat in there. And the lamb, what you can do, though, is if you get a different cut of lamb, you could slice it down and serve it, in slices, and have those nice red slices layered or something. If you can get, something big enough to cook that way. But no, and something with watermelon. Now this should hold up for a day. I don't know how. I wouldn't recommend leaving it made up for too long. You might, if you made it in the morning, you'd probably be all right for dinner, but I wouldn't make it the day before for dinner. And it's so simple. You can cut everything. You can have everything prepped, have the onions done, and in 5 minutes, you've got your salad. So I would think it would be better to do that than to make that far ahead of time. And the same thing with marinating these. Like I said, you don't have to. You can simply just season them and grill them, and they're going to be delicious.
Looks great. Looks terrific. What is it that Anthony Bourdain says? Sweet, savory, salty, sour.
Well,
I don't know. You seem to have a lot going on in that.
well, in this, you got the sour, the savory, the salty with the cheese, the sweet with the watermelon.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
it's
like
all.
that.
That's why this is really so cool. And this you could serve, like if you really want to kick it up just a little more, get some arugula and serve it on a bed of arugula, and then you got that nutty arugula flavor going in too.
Good.
So it's like an explosion in your mouth. You know, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
So, you know, this, and even an ear of corn, we've been eating the heck out of corn because I'm telling you, Florida corn's pretty damn good. It's like, and we got some Florida tomatoes that
I don't know. I'll put it up against Long Island sweet corn anytime.
You know, I lived in Jersey most of my life, and I was an advocate of Jersey sweet corn, Jersey tomatoes, and I'm going, well, this tomato is about as close as you can get. Now, I don't think their season is quite as long with the really good tomatoes. We'll see, but I've been amazed at the real local Florida produce we're getting. And again, it comes down to eating local. What's available where you are is always a good thing. So.
Mm-hmm. Looks great. Looks great. You know what? I think we should do more outdoor summer, grilling meals.
Well, we maybe, depending upon how our house is in Ocean City, maybe we can do some there if I have a grill. We'll have to see what we're walking. I don't know what I'm walking into there. I don't even know if I have internet. So.
Well, listen, you can turn it over to me, and then you can tell me what to do. I have a grill and a deck, and
we can do that.
Tell me what to do. Sure.
I'm happy with that. All right, well, that's it for today. You're around our kitchen table on the Food and Booze Show because of YouTube. Thank you. And but we'll be back. We'll be back to see you next week, and hopefully I'll have a new channel for you, and everything will be cool. But have a great week. Enjoy your food. Enjoy your time. And Susan, always a pleasure.
Always enjoy your outdoors, everyone.
Bye-bye.